Did anybody see my tweet about the GitHub repo? Because yeah, I see you have a computer, so you can make a PR at least. There's also, it can be done from a phone, but I want you to join in the end, and this is still the wrong session, so why didn't anybody tell me? This is the last dive before I disassemble. It's kind of inspired by John Cleese's world tour, the last tour before I die. Because people constantly request sessions with the robot, and it's super fun, but the robot is almost 10 years old now. And I had to use like electronic spray to get the connectors working and stuff for this time. So we'll see if it actually works. Maybe I should actually test that, because otherwise I'll just fail. See, nothing happened. Why did it happen? Because I didn't start the Python script. Who is fans of Python here? Nobody? Oh, damn it, wrong session, wrong conference. Fuck. No, sorry, what do we say instead? Not. You're from Australia, you use it like 50% of the words in every sentence is the F word. Yeah, see, it didn't work. Bad connector. Hey, it actually happened a few times. That's no problem. I'll just reboot it while we do the intro. And then we cross fingers, and then it probably doesn't work. But that's how it is with Mr. Break. And that's also why it's been a challenge throughout the years, but it's been a lot of fun. And if you look at the old recordings from PowerShell conference, you will see that one year everything broke. And the next year I had a session about what broke. Thanks to our sponsors, all these great people here, all nice guys, girls, women. I'm the chief cloud engineer in Saxo Bank, and I do Lego robots every day. No, I don't. What I did, why do I have a Lego robot? I did over 50 presentations about new employee when I did automation. And I was sick of new employees, so I started to fire the employees instead. That was a bit more fun. But then I bought a robot, and then suddenly the attendee account doubled for some reason. Yeah, I blog at jakobsvendsen.com, as you can see in the bottom here. We do have a user group that has been kind of hibernating for a few years, but we'll see if we can pick that back up. Yeah, I'm not going to do many slides today. The thing is, what I'm going to run here is, I'm not going to run the OS of the actual Lego. I'm going to run what's called the Ev3 Dev. And I think, did I have? Yeah, the Ev3 Dev is, I can open the website, probably the easiest. Ev3 Dev reimagined. Amazing. And one thing I saw this time, which I haven't seen before, is this little Lego message here. Lego approved version of the distro. So it means that they have taken the community thing and actually approved it. And they run the micro Python on that. So it's actually, I think I could have done my demo there, but Saturday late night, I wouldn't want to change so much. but that's probably nice. You see, Lego Education is now an official thing. You can also, for the robot, if you don't like this 300 megahertz, 16-bit, amazingly fast processor, you can buy another brain for it, like Brick PI or PI Storms, and also this one called EVB. And all of this distro is then having, as you can see, several versions for each of these. So you can actually run PowerShell on it. Why can't it run PowerShell? Well, it's a 16-bit processor. So it does not do 32-bit integers. So I tried to recompile .NET and change and remove classes and recompiling PowerShell on top of that and spend a few weekend nights on that, and I gave up. It's not possible. It does not do 32-bit integers, and that is one of the few requirements you will see for actually running .NET. so you see, we can actually do it in a 32-bit integer. Yeah, well, I can't see it here, but at least it's not possible. So that's why I'm running Python, which I love just as much as doing the dishes and the washing clothes and emptying the trash. That's how much I love it. At least I've been better at doing indent stuff and using indent, not tabs and not spaces, right? No. No, I know it's tab indent anyway. That was a bad joke. What I found also this time is there are now an extension for VS Code for this distro where you can actually have this browser and you can actually have it inject the code to it and run the code and all that. And I don't use it for this one, but it's a nice little addition to VS Code. This is the first demo. As you can see on the quality, oh, that was better. Oh, damn it, I forgot. I actually brought this hoodie with me here because I wanted to wear the same clothes as I did 8 years ago when I did this demo. And this demo was the first, and it did via Bluetooth. And let me show you what happens. This was, let me see, what does it, I think it was Microsoft, yes, System Center User Group. You see, I've gone in a bit because I start by introducing stuff, and around here, I trigger the runbook in the SMA, and around here, the runbook starts, right? So that is 30 seconds already. I don't want to waste your time on that. Oh, we don't have sound, sorry, my bad. Anyway, what it is, I just started it, and it now is running the command. So now the command is sent to the robot. And you walk around like a speaker here, and it takes another 1 minute before it runs. Right? So every time I did the demos, and suddenly sometimes the message didn't come, so you would wait 2 minutes, and then it would not work. And then you would try again, and you would wait for 2 million years, which is also 2 minutes, of course, and then it might work. But this is the first ever demo I did with the robot, and you see it's still not running. And I was like, it takes so much time to, and as a speaker, it seems like forever. There it goes. And people were clapping, and they see this amazing thing where it waves the MVP flag. So I just want to show the first one because this might be the last one. Yeah, this blog well, it is there, but I don't work for that company anymore. But Debian distro, you can run from the SD card, so you don't even have to like rootkit it or change firmware. You just put in, oh shit, you just put in right here an SD card, and then it boots on that. So you can have multiple SD cards with different distros or whatever you want to do. So it's pretty cool. But let's try and see the demo and what I want to do today. Because I had some feedback. I know it was only one that wrote it. I don't know if the person is here. Don't know who it was. But they wrote that last time I didn't show the code enough. I showed more of a funny stories, as I just told here. I just spent like 80% of the session on old stories. But so this time I'm going to do different. We're just going to do code from now on. And I'm going to show you how this works. Because we boot the distro, as I showed you, we boot the thing, and I don't have the picture here, but you will see that there's actually a font they have made here, so you can see that it's all booting. And now I have rebooted it, right? So we hopefully, what you saw before when I did a test was it went to the side because one motor was not connected. So let me just check if it is connected. And this is the connections I talked about. They're so bad because it's so old. Damn it. Can't you place the microphone? Stupid butt. Okay, it's good enough. So when you have it running and started, you can actually, you can open a SSH session, my favorite putty here, to the robot. And it's, by the way, it's running on the Wi-Fi, which is my phone right there. I hope I don't step on it. Let's see if that happens. And now it switched back the font, you saw that? Because I didn't save it in the profile for that thing. So we'll just do that again. Maybe we do it even bigger this time, you know. Bigger, faster, better. We have a script. I made a Python script. I installed Python. And if you look at the repo, I'm going to shine these things a little bit up before I upload them. But they are uploaded, but there are some secrets in here. So I don't do a commit right now. But I wrote this script, which is here in Python, that runs. And what it does is to load something called PAHO MQTT message queue. Good old message queue. Because we didn't have, what I'm connecting to is Azure Iot Hub. So if we open up Azure and I open my IoT Hub, Has anybody worked with IoT Hub before? Has anybody worked with Event Hub? Okay, IoT Hub is like many other Azure services, just a packaging. And the actual service you use for doing the messages is Event Hub. So it's running an IoT Hub here, and we have the devices here. But the technology is the same as Event Hub. But there was no, maybe there are, but I couldn't find a Python example for Event Hub directly. But what I found, what they described was we could simply use the message queue. So it's using normal. One second. Oh, this is something I never finished. They can play songs also, like tones. You can sandwich tones. I was trying, and then I didn't have time. But you see, we can actually connect using very old school technology to Azure with a username, with a certificate here for HTTPS, and then it uses a connection string that it finds in a file so that you can't see it in the demo, which is somewhere up here. But you see in the script, you can then initiate each motor or each, I initiate a sound too, as some of you heard before. And every time see here it loads, right? So it reads the file, it takes the IoT Hub address, device ID, and shared key. And don't ask me why I just didn't take the connection string instead of making 3 properties, but ask myself 3 years ago why I did that. And then it has these things. And what is called onMessage is a function that triggers every time there's a message sent to the robot. So before I go on with the code here, let's see if it actually works now. So what I did was to create a PowerShell module, which has been on the... I blame the t-shirt. Jakob here. No. No. We connect to IoT Hub, and we simply send a message to IoT Hub, and the Python script will accept it. So all I need to do here, which is actually already run, but let's run it again anyway, I simply set the connection string here. And then I can do forward, hopefully goes forward. It did nothing. And the same as before, I have not started the Python script. So therefore nothing happens. I'm starting the Python script, Python script there, and the config file there, which I'm not showing. Even if it's just a demo, I've seen people before, even in the session, starting to do weird stuff a few minutes after you show stuff like that. But at least my phone number was not in the presentation in the keynote. Except the microphone thing is maybe not the best idea in the world. I've had better ideas, but it's just a bit fun. Usually the fun ideas are not the best ones, right? There we go. We try again. And it's probably pretty noisy. Yeah. See how fast that was? I click now. It's instant, almost. I made a game controller at one conference on in Power App. That didn't went very well, but what I do here in my module is simply to send these commands. So if I look at my module here, I go back to the Python script in a second, but if I look at my module, which of course is on my GitHub, we can see that or if you do the invoke Ev3, I know I could press F12, but I didn't do that. Invoke Ev3, what I do here, the local mode or the old school mode here is sending batch commands and executing these batch commands. But the IoT, the cool mode, is actually just making a JSON here with left speed, left duration, right speed, right duration. So you can have it turn around or whatever you need to do. And this is actually what I want maybe you guys to do in the end. But I then have the message here, and I simply send an IoT cloud message. And I actually use a module called Azure IoT, made by a good old friend called Mark Schulman. And he hasn't updated it for 6 years, and it's not the best, and it doesn't work in .NET Core, and there are many new libraries. So open opportunity for anybody who wants to do a good submission for the community. There is no PowerShell module that sends messages to Event Hub. At least I couldn't find it. Except this old one, and it doesn't work, as I say. It's using Windows PowerShell because it's .NET and not .NET Core. I know it's not called that anymore. So what I did here throughout the years is different things, sending the message there. So you see some of the new functions I simply throw, not implemented in local mode, or forgot to write mode. But I did a pretty cool one, which is the PS readline key handler. The start Ev3 live control. Oh my God! And in a long time ago this read line thing didn't work in VS Code, so I don't trust it. Right? So I'll just do it in very standard old school console here. And then I do start, Ev3, live control. It doesn't work. It doesn't actually send them. What did I forget? I forgot to actually connect. So it's trying to do the local version, but it's not connected. So my script is amazing function that it doesn't complain about that. But that's because I don't like errors. You just hide them, right? Like on error, resume next. Still nothing, yeah. You see? It's not really working so well today. But there's something in it. This microphone is kind of screwing things up, but it's more fun with the microphone, I think. Let's see how it goes. So you see, it's quite quick, and sometimes people go like, and actually one real thing to learn from this is I've had a lot of discussions with different developers in different companies, and also my own now, that said that messaging between services is too slow. And yes, they are right. We have some services that have a maximum SLA of 2 milliseconds. That is not for this, right? But you see how fast it is? I mean, most of the actual things that you do can easily live with. Maybe it's 50 milliseconds or something like that. And it means that if you have a front page, for instance, that sends your orders, let's say, into a queue, and then you have an internal Azure function that triggers on that queue. If you have a problem with your, let's say, express route, VPN to Azure, whatever, you can just shut it down, because the messages will come into the queue anyway, and you can start your backend, and then it sucks it all out again, and then maybe people get their ticket for the concert 10 minutes later, but that's not a problem, right? In many cases. So I would recommend to use this messaging from front end to a service, an event hub, and then back to our storage queue, and then inside you have another function that triggers on that, because then the front end does not have any connection to your private backend and network, which is super useful. Okay, but I think what we're going to do here is, I didn't make the slide that I would promise to, but maybe I can do a vote, and you're going to vote the wrong thing, I know that. I have two demos. One is based on a SharePoint form. We can do that. Or we can do the demo that is with GitHub and GitHub Actions and YAML files. Which one do you want? How many wants the SharePoint one? Yes, one SharePoint. You're my friend. I actually once had a picture, I forgot to put it in here too, with a Chinese swimming pool with a million people in it, and then a SharePoint fans title on that. Because there were so many. How many fans of SharePoint's in this room? And there was 200 people, and nobody put their hand up. And then I put, but see how many there are in this pool? They love SharePoint. No, we'll do it in GitHub, and we'll do it with YAML files, which I like YAML files because they are easy to read. I hate YAML files because they are not as easy in PowerShell to parse as JSON. I mean, you need some kind of other module or function you make yourself. So I made this read wannabe YAML function, which sucks. But that's what it does. The idea is that I want myself or you guys to go in and put a file in this repo. If we put a file in the pub folder, it's going to trigger the robot. And it's going to go the steps for the left and right motor as much as we write here. Right now it's not going to do anything because I have not put in the GitHub action yet. How many here has tried GitHub Actions? This is my first attempt with GitHub Actions, and I did it on Saturday night. I think I got the idea around 2 a.m. While I was sitting outside smoking cigarettes and coding the robot. And it was super easy. I mean, it was really easy. I'm a big fan of DevOps tasks, as you saw in my other session, but this is the same, right? And it's just easier because how do I make one? Well, I could click new here, right? But what it actually generates is simply a file in the repo. So I don't need to do anything in the GUI as you need to do in DevOps. I just need to put a GitHub folder. You see git.github. And of course, I generated this in the portal first time. And if we look at that, you'll see that GitHub here, it's a YAML file. 2 YAML files, 2 actions. One is called auto merge, which means that any PR anybody makes will be automatically accepted no matter what they put in it. I use that in production every day. No. We should call it maybe we should change this, right? We call it rubber stamp. There you go. Rubber stamp. But yeah, it's so easy. You just make one. It's kind of like making a pipeline. But you put a file, and as soon as it's there, and you have a trigger here, then it will trigger. You don't need to do anything else. So I'm going to take this rubber stamping out to begin with, because otherwise Ben is going to do stuff in 1 second.
I'm ready to go.
I know. That's why I'm not enabling right now. We delete the rubber stamp here. Yeah, but the template, the actual Mr. Brick, the Mr. Brick, what it contains is a few things. It just contains, some triggers. This is all the base example. It has a checkout one that kind of checks out the code. And then I found an action that finds all the change files since last time. And then I made a script down here that then iterates through the files and sends it to the robot. So let's see it in a PowerShell script instead, so there's some color, right? So we have secret up there, which is something you can make in your pipeline. That is the connection string. That's something that you can make here somewhere in settings, and then secrets, right? Secrets, actions under secrets. And you see there is an IoT connection string. And what's really, actually I like this GUI because there's no edit button where you can update. Yeah, there's an update button, but you cannot open and see like a field with stars in it or whatever to kind of see there was a value. It's just secret after you set it first time. The only thing you can do is to update it to something else. That's nice. And it means in your PowerShell GitHub action, you can actually go and use this little in the pipeline that actually inserts it. This means I can then execute the script. There is other ways too. We could actually send it into the script as an input. We could also send it in as an environment variable. But since this was just one Mr. Brick file here, YAML file, I thought it was easier just to use this method here, which will replace the connection string before it executes PowerShell. So don't care what the PowerShell is, it's just going to replace that, and you can probably inject 1 million lines of code in it or whatever, but I won't show my security department this demo. All right. So if you see here, what I do is to check it out, change files, and then what's called I did actually send it in as an environment variable, so you can see that you could set an environment variable in this script, and then it runs the script down here. And I actually is using the environment variable too, sorry. I didn't update my other example script there. But this is how you would do it, so it's very standard. But actually the added files, the output of the other task is actually also outputting here. This is something from their doc. You have different things to choose here. What kind of files? Do you want all deleted files or updated files or whatever? I want changed files. I do not want deleted files. So what I do is I go in and check those files. Blame the t-shirt again. Maybe I can just hang it in the beard. This like this? No, no, it's gonna be too noisy. All right. It triggers this. It reads the files, and let's take the PowerShell version again with the colors. Reads the files, and it looks at a line, and if the line starts with left, then it sets the left duration to what you have written there, and it sets the speed to something so that you don't set it to full speed, because then the demo would be over in 1 second or 2. It's going to go pretty slow. And then write, and then we simply send this. And you see I did not use any modules here, because all I need to do is to load one DLL here. And then I need to set the connection string and the device ID in Iot Hub, Mr. Brick. But it's actually called Mr. Robot, so it's correct in the pipeline. Again, see Mr. Robot here. Mr. Brick was something he was called, but then I forgot. And then I made some demos and called him Mr. Robot instead. And then my CEO said, why is he suddenly called Mr. Robot, not Mr. Brick? I was like, no, that's right, we called him Mr. Brick the last 5 years, I just forgot. All right, so let's put that in there. So now you can make a PR if you want, but what should you put in there? Well, put a file in the pub folder. Doesn't matter the name, I would give it a special name so you don't conflict with all the thousands others. There's gonna be a pull request in just a second. You put left and right, and then you make a PR. Maybe I should make a file first, so we don't need the PR. Well, maybe you could do it. Or do you want? You are welcome to start if you want. Okay. You have the file ready too? Yeah. Okay. So you're welcome to. Wait, I gotta find the gift for the PR. I'll just do one then first. I'll do a 1,000 steps. That's about 2 centimeters or something like that. I just changed file number 3, and then I do, and then I see I forgot to check in my main branch. Don't mention that to anyone, because I want all these actions to be there, of course. So I'll take the changes, and then action Mr. Brick, edit. Yeah, it is actually 30 minutes now, so the last 15 minutes is questions and a lab that we're doing together, right? Then we have the main, and it means that I now have the function in here. What you saw here when I look at the action, when I looked at action, you would still see the actions that I've deleted, because it does not delete the history. But you will see now there is a yellow one here, because it has started the action. Actually, the check-in where we checked in the action also started on that check-in. That's pretty cool. Super easy to do, actually. I was surprised that it wasn't harder. But apparently IT is supposed to get easier, right? We had spent years and years making it easier, and it becomes more and more complex, so it's just not easier. But some things are. This executes now, it's gonna add that thing, and it's a bit slow. Maybe it's because it's a demo. Usually it would take a little bit faster than that. But it seemed there was a little queue before it started. And now it's starting, as you can see, checking out the code and not breaking, and checking the change files, and then sending the command in just a second. And then it should go a little bit over the table. It's actually, I just realized now that it's similar to the video I showed that I'm waiting about the same time. So we have learned nothing in 8 years. But I can say that on many areas of my life, that I have learned nothing in the last 8 years.
You just come full circle.
Yeah, it didn't work either, so we're back to how it always is. But what you see here is this is the script running, right? And what you will see is that every time it receives a message, I output it here. Every time the robot sends a message, it also output it here. And when does the robot send a message? It does send the message if the color scanner changes. Yep. Which means I can, which I'll show in a second, wait for. But I don't know why this didn't work actually. Thinking. Maybe it works next time. There's a PR now. Let's see if there are other PRs. I did not put the auto approve. I think it's not. Oh my God. 2 hours ago, myself, 8:28. Hey, nice. And Sigurd appeared. And yeah. That's great. Let's see if I can. Unfortunately, there was none from Jaap because I would just reject it if it was from him. I should actually put that in the pipe. Sender Jaap. Sorry? Yes, exactly.
Do conditions based on that sort of stuff, so they won't run if Jaap is the contributor.
See, that's a nice one, huh? Minus a million. Should I try it? I should actually do it in the order that they are sent in instead of selecting things that people I know would try to screw it up. First one. You ask for it. Yes, thank you. There's a commit. Left, right. Okay, let's try that one. And we'll just. I have actually never accepted a PR.
So you got to approve it first. So.
Where's that? Sorry, that's pretty embarrassing right now, actually. I thought GitHub, I always have, oh, it's right here, right? Super, thanks. That was just a comment. Yeah, merge, yeah, sorry, I did actually do that, but it was 4 a.m. when I did it, so that's why I thought I didn't do it. You'll actually see that some of the check-ins I made and stuff is created like 3 a.m. And so I had that too in another session. So now we check this in, and we can go now to the actions, and it will have created one for it. And then we'll see if it want to go. Let's have this open to my favorite function here. One of my favorite shortcuts in Windows. I don't see why it shouldn't work before, so it's so simple. I should see it. We just send a message to the Iot Hub. That's all. To the event hub in the Iot Hub. So I still know. 42. Yes, 42. And it stops. Before we continue, I want to show you a little final piece, because you can probably imagine what's going to happen soon. The table is not that big. So I planned a little trick, because one thing I showed last time, 2019, was this scanner here detects colors, right? So I can see a set of colors. So I made an enum because it only sees a specific set of colors. So if you go to here you can see these. One of them is called no color. So when it hits the edge here, it's no color. So that's why I can check if it goes to the edge, if it goes over the edge. So what I did was, first of all, I knew that people would spam this. So I made a way to block public information, because I needed to actually, 1 second is the wrong window, that's why I couldn't find it. I made something called set restricted mode. If I could find it, or spell, or whatever I did here.
Yeah, set RST.
Oh, damn it, you're so clever. Both of you. Now you see, set restricted mode simply sends a message where it says restricted mode equals 1. And this means that any traffic that comes in, any messages that are marked is public, will be ignored. So I can, even though if you send 100 or 1,000 and it has a lot of things coming and it's reading the queue, I can actually stop that. For some reason, it doesn't take them exact order, or I think it actually runs them all quickly and sends the messages, and then it reaches the one for restricted mode, and it sets this restricted mode, and this means that it will stop answering to your pull request and all that. But I have this wait Ev3 color. I wait for no color, and I put a connection string here. That was kind of a stupid decision because it was already available in the module, but again, it was late. But it was cool. So we had this edge protection I had once, but now we're going to do wait Ev3 color instead because it's a much more generic way to do it, because I could also wait for other colors like red. My original plan for this demo was to make it run its, when you buy this robot, there's like a track that you can run, and I've never tried that, and I still have it. Like the packaging itself is like a track with colors and walls, and I tried to make it actually do the track, but it took a very long time, so I had to stop. So I made a different one that said we can wait for a color. When I did the track, I would then wait for red, which is the walls in that little thing. But now we're going to wait for no color. And what it does is simply to start what's called an Event Hub receiver. And this is also something that, to be honest, sucks in the old module and in the old libraries, because there are no way to check if there are messages or not. So you just have to try, and if there's no messages, it's going to time out after a minute or something. So you can set a timeout here a bit smaller. But still, it will fail if there's no messages. So we have this kind of little bit of a crappy code where it actually just ignores errors, and yeah. We tried a few things, but it's going to wait for the color. And you will see if I start this function here, that it now waits for color. And let's try and move it around a bit. Maybe I should have the other one too, sorry. See, no color. It's a bit difficult when we only have brown, because it only sends if it changes the color, right? But it will send a message every time there is a color change, as I mentioned before. So, sorry? Yes. Amazing, you have something white. What is that? Squared up? Sorry, no advertisement. I can put it, yeah, we can wait for white, but let's still wait for no color so that we can see what it outputs and everything. There you go. So we try this. White. Other side. Black. And then brown. Table is brown. See? It works really well. It's really fun for the kids. And I also realized one thing. All the demos I've done, I think I've done about 30 or so with the robot. I've never used the Lego as the example, because the Lego, the one that comes with it, the app, is actually where you can put in Lego bricks together, and it's commands. So why not use that as explaining the actual script and then write it in PowerShell? So that's what you can do with your kids. You can have them do it in Lego app and play around with that, and then one day you can sit down with them and help them, work with them, and make it in PowerShell instead. So that would be pretty cool if your kid like it, of course, if you have kids. Don't steal other kids and do it, of course. No, what I want here is I want to have it to say a little goodbye, because it's probably going to go over the edge. So we're going to wait for the no color, which is waiting for the edge. When that happens, we're going to set the restricted mode. And if anybody looks in my code, this parameter doesn't exist, but it looks cool. It's a set restricted. I have no way to disable it, except restarting the script in Python. Okay, stop motor after it sees the edge, play sound. I'm not going to run that command, because that would spoil everything. And then we have say goodbye, which some of you saw, which is actually text-to-speech. I'm just going to wait. Maybe we should have it finish that function by putting it to the edge. All right, no color, worked. Sweet. But we can do the
goodbye.
Sometimes it's not so good.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. It's so simple to do in this code in the Python, because it's simply text to speech. I simply wrote that line, and then one second. Samples, IT demo. It's so embarrassing, this structure of photos. That's why I haven't uploaded it yet. What you see here, every time a message comes to the robot, I run this code here where it looks at the one and says, hey, what does it contain? And don't blame me about the syntax, it's Python, right? And then left duration, right duration, grab duration, where we could pick up stuff. I'm not going to do that today. Left forever means just start the motor and run forever until somebody says stop. Right forever, right stop, say goodbye, dot speak, goodbye, right? So we could simply do PSConfE instead. Play sound, it plays wave files. So Mr. Brick.wow, that doesn't really spoil anything, that's good. And then restricted mode. And every time it sends a message, this one executes, which you've seen on the screen. So let's try and enable this. We're gonna wait for the edge and start this. And I tested it, waited like half an hour at home without errors. So hopefully the same happens here. Not half an hour, but that's something as an experienced speaker, you know that at home you test the demo, but at stage you might just leave that for 5 minutes and then explain stuff. Try that at home too, because your code, if it's waiting for something in a loop, it might fail after a few minutes. That's what happened here. So now we have that. So now I can accept some PRs. But I'm not gonna rubber stamp them. I'm gonna do a real review because some of them were a bit crazy. Sorry, it's the wrong way. Yeah. And we take this on the other side, right? That's probably best. You can also do like that. Pull request. So let's take the next one there. 2 minutes left. That seems pretty fine. 17 minutes ago. Actually, maybe move right a bit. What does this say? Okay. We can try it, but it's gonna go over the wrong edge. So I think I'm gonna skip that for now. Create beard. It's not gonna create a beard. That would be good for next demo. Again, only left. I would recommend that if you wanna do turning, you do left minus and right plus, or the other way around, of course. Otherwise, it's just gonna jump around a bit because the rubber there will just stick to the table. What's this? Schmodown. Is that Australian? Must be. Oh, we still have only 1 minute. Yeah, see, you have a long one. What? I tried the latest one. This is starting to spend the final countdown. That is the latest one, and that was also the same guy who is it in here? Yep, you. Okay, yeah, see you there, and because you also made the first one, so maybe we should try you as. This is a good example of why GitHub is amazing. This is a good example of that. It's cool, so don't care. But let's just try something. Maybe we should. We'll take the. Actually, it was supposed to be auto approved, and it's supposed to go crazy, but now you already sent them, right? I couldn't let it auto approve while I was introducing the thing, so that was not so thought through on my side. This one, so try that. We can stop it. This is going to go around and not go over the edge. So this is what I do as my job, right? I check the code and see if it doesn't go over the edge, and then I rubber stamp it. Actually, I don't do many PRs because I realized my team is better at it than myself. So I check it, but I have somebody else usually really check the code. But I am trying to get back to actually checking the code myself. There we go. You had one accepted. Congratulations. What was, did I choose the wrong one? No, it's right, correct?
I mean, the same now.
But the thing is that this is very similar to DevOps task. You'll see that if you migrate later, I think they can probably convert the pipelines and everything to this. It should be another good opportunity for a community tool.
There are some tools that
There are?
Azure DevOps to GitHub Actions.
Okay, cool.
I haven't played them in years, but they didn't work great.
Okay. So since this takes a while and we are over time, I'm gonna have this one, and then we're gonna take the one that goes forward, and then we're gonna say goodbye to my little friend. This is cooler than the first demo where I used SharePoint workflows, and Orchestrator. This is something that has improved in 8 years for sure. At least in my knowledge about it has improved. Send command. Completed. Here's the command. It doesn't understand that many steps. It was a 16-bit processor. Why didn't you think of that? I just did it to see if you were awake, of course. No, let's try the other ones. Sorry, the one. And this is also a problem then. Okay, so do I have to have, everything is crap. I thought somebody would be respectful here to the thing, but apparently not. It's all trolls. This one. You're not just a troll. You're just looking like, sorry. I can say that because I have the same kind of beard and look like a troll myself. And act like one too. And as speaker, you are the leader here, so I don't care what you say. No, just kidding. No, I do care a lot. Let's try this one. And maybe if somebody can make a PR with, let's say, a few thousands. Otherwise, I'm just going to trigger it and send it forever and see it go over the edge. Yeah, 2,000 not enough. I think we need around 20,000 steps to get to the edge. Should we accept one more? This one was one that went forward. But the thing is, I can send as many parallel messages as I want. That's super nice. You can just spam it. Why is it always you? Final countdown. That was the one you made. But that's also had a very big one, right? I saw before. I'm not showing it's running, but instead of waiting for that job to run, see it actually. Thank you, Python. Or this is the classic one where you don't know how to code a language and then you blame the language for it being crappy. There's probably an equivalent to try catch somewhere, but I didn't look it up. So sorry that pull request didn't come through. Over 9,000. Let's try that. Go. Confirm it. I didn't even check it. Now we are really rubber standing. We don't have time to do that. That's the kind of real life situation, right? Goodbye. Damn it.
The 69 one's got the change to 2000.
Okay. This is probably going to crash now too. I actually never, this is again a thing I didn't try. I did not try 1,000,000 steps. I tried maybe 20,000 steps and it worked. But not 60,000 apparently. But it is running that. It is super slow, you know, GitHub actions are not slow because normally, you know, it doesn't matter, but when you're on stage here trying to do a exciting demo, it's freaking slow. Probably much quicker if you host your own agents or, I don't know. We don't use hosted agents in our company at all, actually. Well, for a few things, and otherwise we have our own agents for everything. Sorry? Damn it! I knew that would happen, right? So let's try the last one because Torsten is getting, his legs are starting to sleep. Sorry, Torsten. It's taken a bit longer than expected, sorry. This one, you said this was good, right? So we can merge it as soon as this says ready. You see how super fast it is. It's amazing. It only takes like 5-10 seconds to start. Let's try that. And then we're gonna, after that, I'm gonna send it to the edge myself. Because it seems that my little trick here, but that I think actually this shows a real life situation in a GitHub situation because you don't think of what the trolls will send to your repo or what, if you have real colleagues and so, what they would actually accidentally do, for instance. So it's really important to have right validation on the files when you in the PR probably would be the best. And a schema maybe. Yeah, so this works, and then I still have this waiting. You see it still says brown, brown, brown. I'll start another one while it's starting your action. I'll start another one while it's starting your action. It doesn't do that. Yes, it does. It's just a bit slow. Oh, that was quick. Only 5 seconds. That's very quick in computers. See? But that was not enough. So let's try now. So as I said, oh, damn it, shut up. 1 second. Last demo here. Now it comes. Hopefully. Okay. There you go. Oh, I need to go to the folder first, which is not there. Damn it! You should always try them before you do your session, especially when they were so late when you finished. Invoke Ev3 forward is forever. I think I called it. Also very nice. Or whatever. Let's try it. Okay, go forward. Oh, it's too fast. No, stop! Now it's the spoiler, right? We'll try it again. We're supposed to be the PR, so it went slow. Can you behave? Thank you. So about the microphone noise when I had to save it. Here you can see I'm a dad, right? Kind of catching the kids. We're gonna do speed 8 or 10. No, 8. That was what I tested. Just do what you tested. And with script started. Oh, it's only 7 minutes. Sorry, this will be the last. Promise you. You just don't want to die. I don't know why. Why don't you want to die? Stupid robot. Okay, now. And then we start this and wait for the color, which is the edge. And then we go and trigger my little 8-speed forever thing. And 6. Okay, that was a bit slower than anticipated. But now it's because the invents and back and forth is not as fast, you know. When you had now it comes. Yes. That also takes 7 minutes, the song here. No.
Goodbye.
Oh, still trying? Ah, you piece of shit. Sorry, guy. Yeah, I'm done now, of course. Thank you for coming.